For Akaroa firefighter Blake Thomson, the month of November is personal. Why? Because it's Movember month, and in September he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. His diagnosis prompted him to get involved in Movember and raise awareness about his cancer journey and hope that he can offer support to others. He now joins me. G'day, Blake.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, do you remember that time where you thought to yourself, this is not right, I need to go see a doctor?
Yeah, I've had that exact feeling pretty recently, actually.
And that was in September, right?
Yes, yeah, early September. I was just having a shower and noticed an abnormality downstairs, and then went to the doctor the next day, and sure enough, they were passing me on for testicular cancer. So went to the GP, had an ultrasound, and then before I know it, within a week and a half, it was out and it was confirmed as testicular cancer. So it's it was very quick, but I'm glad I had the help I received, put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So you go to the doctor, and does the doctor diagnose you straight away or give you an indication that it might be testicular cancer, or do you have to wait until the ultrasound, or what happens?
Yeah, so they have an indication roughly. It's like they have to wait until the ultrasound, really, and then after that they can gauge quite a lot. So I had my ultrasound, and then after that they pretty much said that it's gone through to the urologist, who's the doctor that specialises in looking at that stuff, as the highest probability of testicular cancer. So he was pretty much 90% sure that it was what it was, and that's why it was so prompt.
What goes through your mind? I mean, you're 24 years of age and you get this diagnosis. I mean, nobody your age thinks cancer, let alone testicular cancer, right?
I know. It's crazy. It's always one of those things that you hear about, but until it actually happens to you or someone that you know, the reality just isn't prevalent for you. So when I found it, I knew what to do. I'm pretty prompt with getting stuff checked out. So I went straight to the doctor. I was like, this isn't right. And that whole 2 weeks, I was pretty much just like, right, let's, get this stuff sorted. So I was very determined throughout that whole 2 weeks. But now that the process is kind of getting on, that's when the whole, meaning of it is starting to set in. So I didn't really give myself time to react, I suppose.
Because the whole process was fast. Now, there is good news. Can we say your cancer clear, so to speak?
Yeah, basically. So it's not showing up on any tests. It's not showing up on a CT scan. The biopsy revealed that it was seminoma, which is the better cancer to have, if that's a thing you can say. So, cancer-free for now. So hope 20 to 30% chance it could come back over the next 5 years. But otherwise, 70% chance I'm in the clear.
Fantastic. And I know you're raising funds for Movember as a result of your journey, and you're wanting to kind of talk to others about it too. And this is why you're doing this right now. You've already done your 10K walk, but it wasn't just any 10K walk, was it? We've got some images we'll edit in as well. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, it wasn't your regular 10Ks. So, I took on fundraising for Movember because I was like, well, it's, a cause that's obviously very close to home for me now. With testicular cancer, because it funds the research of that, prostate cancer, and men's mental health and suicide awareness. So, I figured it timed out pretty well for me to fundraise for Movember. So there I was, and I was sitting on the couch one day, and I was like, "What's a hard challenge I can give myself?" So being a volunteer firefighter and access to BA and breathing apparatus and full structural gear, I was like, I'm going to walk 10Ks. And then I was like, where am I going to do it? I'm going to do it up this incredibly steep road right to the very end of the Head and Banks Peninsula on Lighthouse Road.
And you did it. We've got some images we'll put across. How long did it take? They must have been exhausting.
It was exhausting. So I had a bit of a test run to gauge whether or not I could actually do it. And I could. It took me about 4 cylinders. So each cylinder has about 300 bar of air. Suck it on the whole way. I was using a lot more on the way up, as you could imagine. Yeah. It took me 3 hours in total.
You got a lot of support too, I see, as well, which must be quite nice, humbling. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is very humbling to have the amount of support I had. There was probably about 25 people there on the day, um, and a whole support crew from the fire brigade that was swapping out my cylinders when I was running dry, and yeah, and obviously support through fundraising as well. I'm up to about 11.6k now, which is fantastic.
That is really good. And we
Yeah,
were talking off here about your next challenge going to be on November the 30th. I thought, hang on, that's tomorrow.
it is tomorrow. Yeah, it is tomorrow. It's coming around very quick.
And this is the next challenge.
So
Tell us about that.
yeah, so there's a competition that, or through the UFBA, that is the firefighters challenge. It used to be called combat challenge, which people might know it by. It's essentially like an obstacle course, you could say, or like a challenge course. So you have to run up a scaffolded flight of stairs to haul this hose up, and then once you get to the top, you have to haul hose up on a rope all the way up, go back down, hit some weights off the end of a run with a hammer, run all the way to the end, run a hose back, bust through some doors, spray the target, and then drag a 90-kilo dummy from there right to the other end. And it all takes about 2 minutes or just over. They call it the toughest 2 minutes in sport.
I feel exhausted just listening to that. That sounds absolutely exhausting. And of course, you're continuing to raise funds, and we'll put with the details of how people can support you on our Facebook page after this. I mean, I don't want to get too Oprah on you, but I suppose, what message do you want to get out there when it comes to the likes of cancer? I mean, being 24 years of age, fit, healthy, out and about, and you get this diagnosis. What do you want people to know? Because what you said to me off here was quite interesting, that it's more common than not for people in your age group, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the years between 18 and 35 roughly are the ages that testicular cancer commonly affects. And, as I said before, until you or someone you know goes through it, the reality just isn't there. So I suppose that's my message and drive for fundraising for Movember, is just to raise that awareness and say, like, hey, this stuff can happen. And being quite local over in Akaroa, it's definitely hit the community, with a stiff hand, you could say, saying that this guy that everyone knows has testicular cancer, and it's just not a thing that people talk about, really, for some reason. So I'm basically setting out to change that and raise awareness for it, and some funds to help the research of it.
Has it changed the way you look at life a little bit, or is it still life? I mean, obviously life goes on. I don't know. Has your attitude changed to anything as a result?
Yeah, it definitely has, I think. I mean, I got off pretty scot-free in the grand scheme of things. I know there's multiple other men that, definitely weren't as lucky as I was, because the operation was just a straight fix for me. And there's the chance of having to go through chemotherapy if I wanted to now. But yeah, so I got off pretty lightly, really.
Good luck for your challenge tomorrow. And it's really nice to connect with you. I'm so glad that some of my contacts in fire and emergency put me in contact with you. And good luck for the challenge tomorrow. I can't wait to hear about it and see some probably exhausting looking photos as well.
Yes, yeah, that'll be the one. Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me, mate, and letting me share my story and my message, I suppose, and getting that awareness out there.